Sorry guys. So hi, how are you all doing? We'll be talking about gut health today, and I'm sorry we had to just by mistake, because of the network issues, we had to actually end the live. So hello everyone, welcome to today's topic, gut health and foods to eat to take care of our gut. How are you all doing? Hi Kevin, thank you for joining. Yeah, we have Janvi already joined us, and I'll just wait for her to send me a request and we'll be going aboard. Yes, she sent me a request and we'll have her in less than a minute. We're just getting her on board. Hi Monique, thank you for joining. So I'll be just talking about today's speaker. She is a integrative gut microbe expert and a functional nutritionist, which is like one of the only few in India. There are very, very less kind of people who are doing this work, who are only dealing with the gut. So I'm just checking how Janvi, do we have you?
Yes, I can see you.
I can't see you. Can you all see her, guys? Can you all give a thumbs up if you all can see her?
I can see you, I can
Technology.
hear you.
I can't see you. Guys, can you all see her? If you all can, please give a thumbs up. If you all cannot, please tell us. Technology and its glitches. Forever and ever. I have accepted it now. Wait. Yeah, I'm just joining in her back. Hi guys, thank you for joining.
Can you see me now?
No, Janvi, I don't know why we can't see you.
I can actually see you clearly.
Yeah, but I don't think even the viewers can see you. I don't know what's the
Okay,
issue.
1 second.
It's showing connecting for me. Thank you, Maya Bhabhi, for letting us know. Thank you, Kevin, for letting us know. No, I can't see you. Janvi, are you there? Yeah. Yes. Hi, how are you? I'm good, I'm good. So how is everything going on?
Perfectly well. How's
So I
everything
was
at
just
your end?
all good,
Great.
all good. So I was just telling them about you, that you're one of the very few who is practicing something like this, who deals with only gut and problems related to gut.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we were just talking about it. So tell me what else? What have you been up to otherwise apart from this?
I think it's been really a good time to kind of look back and reflect on your life a little bit. It's a good time to really reach out to so many other people who need our help right now. So I think being in the healthcare industry helps you to give you a chance to be able to reach out. And also we've been empaneled right now with two other COVID-19 helplines, and we're helping people on nutrition and immunity through that. So it's nice to be able to do
Yeah.
that at this point in time
So
and
you're there on the
be of
COVID
keen
helpline.
right now to people. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
That's
Great,
amazing. Wow.
great.
So
Yes.
yeah, today's topic is about gut health, guys, and we'll be addressing issues related to gut. So let's get started. And here I
Hmm.
am, Dwani Gala, founder of Oh Mind Your Body, where we deliver fresh homemade salads across Mumbai. And we have Janvi, who is a gut expert who deals with nutrition only related to gut health majorly. So today's first
Great.
question I would like to ask you, Janvi, is what is exactly gut health?
Right. So gut health primarily is to do more with, can you hear me clearly? Yes. So gut health primarily is to do with
Yeah,
your
yeah, yeah.
small and large intestine, and it's more to really do with the balance that we need in our intestine. So, it's surprising to know the kind of functions that your gut health really takes care of. And it is actually done by something called the microbiome that we have in our gut, on our skin, everywhere else. So a microbiome is basically a universe or an ecosystem of its own, where the good and bad bacteria reside. And we've been told from the time that we're really small that wash your hands again and again, don't play in the dirt. But actually, these microbes are actually quite good for you and for your body. And when they're in the right balance, that's what they actually help your body to function well. So having a balance of this microbiome, which is in your gut primarily and also in your skin, in your body, is really the science that we're working on. It's also very interesting to know that your gut actually is, obviously it has the microbes that we have in our gut are unique to each person, in the same way that our fingerprints are unique. So they're actually as unique, so that's quite amazing. And we're primarily more of a hybrid super microorganism. So we're actually 100 out of the 100 trillion cells that we carry, about only 10% of our cells are human. The rest of them all belong to bacteria and fungi. So we're primarily more of a microorganism than a superhuman. So I think that's going to really help you see how important they are for our body. And apart from that, the last thing that I'd like to share about this is that it also not only helps you with the functioning of overall your health, but it helps the gut microbiome balance, helps you with your immunity, helps you with your digestion, helps you with your hormones. It helps you with keeping your mood in check, and also with your metabolism when you're trying to lose weight or get fit. So these are all the things that it actually impacts. So that's what your gut
So
is all about.
also, diabetes and cholesterol and all of these issues are like handled if we
Hmm.
are taking care of our gut.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because an imbalance in the gut can lead to so many more complications at all different levels. And so, yes, even if it's a diabetes or a high cholesterol or a high blood pressure or a thyroid, all of these actually integrate in a big way with your gut microbiome and the
So that
balance
is like the
of.
root place. That is like the root place, you can say.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. So basically, I think all of us in this time with the pandemic, I think all of us have really heard the word immunity so much. So just to come to even understand about that, we know that when we are in a better state of mind, a better overall balance of the body or the rhythm of the body, that's the time your body works well, right? And so that's
Right.
exactly what I'm talking about. So any disease in your body actually starts with inflammation, and that actually starts normally in the gut in terms of an imbalance. And about 70 to 80% of our immune cells lie in our gut. So that's why it's so important that even if it is to do with any of these conditions, that inflammation or immunity, if it's compromised, you're going to see that impact on your gut first and then overall on your body. Yes,
Interesting. So
yes,
you deal with, basically from there you deal with issues and you treat your patients or clients for any health
absolutely.
issue is from there. You deal issues from the gut directly.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because when you're treating
That's
the core issue, that's when you're actually making a difference. You can treat a symptom, but you're not really treating the cause then. So when you're really looking at treating the root cause of the issue, and that's what we do as functional nutritionists, and I think I can proudly say we're one of the only few in India right now, not even a handful are practicing this right now. So we believe in actually treating from the root, and that's what we really look at doing. And
so
I think that's
also,
when you're
sorry to
actually looking
interrupt.
at a problem, and that's why it also looks at actually reversing the problem as a whole. Yes.
So when we deal with one issue, they could be we are dealing with another issue also, because it was related to the primary issue that we have been
Hmm.
dealing with. So is it that
Absolutely.
possibility how the other issues can
Absolutely.
also be taken care of? Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, for example, there is somebody who may have diabetes, okay, who may even have a possible higher chance of having things like something called candidiasis, which is extra like a, overgrowth of yeast in the body. And that, normally comes as you see a white coated tongue, or if you see, like a discharge, or if you
Right.
see thrush, all of these can actually present themselves as candidiasis in different ways. So if people who are diabetic tend to even have more of a reason to have candida. So again, they all are related. And having more candida again obviously means there's a imbalance in the system, and that again can lead to more complications. So it's like one to many in a lot of
That's
ways.
Awesome. Wow.
Yeah, great.
So, according to you, how can one keep their gut healthy?
Right. So I think that's a wonderful question, and that's so important, to work around that. So the gut primarily, like I said, is as a like digestion in a way, like we say, is the river of life, and it's so important to make sure that you're digesting the right way. So I think it's important that there are five things that you can do in terms of really making sure that your gut is overall okay. So one is to work around obviously the foods that we can come to and we can discuss, moving forward. I'll come to that part of it. But other, just the overall topic that I'd like to share. So your sleep is a very important factor when it comes to your gut. Having restful sleep, taking in as much sunlight in the day, in order to, also keeping a circadian rhythm right in terms of sleeping right for those 7 to 8 hours is really, really important when it comes to your gut health. That's all right. Second is to really work on your stress levels because your nerves, are really, really, the nerves of your gut, when they are more sensitive, they tend to give you more of a gut upset or they try to give you more imbalance. So a lot of these dopamine, like dopamine, serotonin, all these happy mood receptors also lie in your gut. So it's very important to take care of that. Like I also was mentioning for sleep, even the melatonin that we have, which is a sleep hormone, actually takes is it found is more 400 times more melatonin actually in the gut, than in your brain. So all of these factors, obviously, your food and diet plays a very important role in making sure that your gut is healthy. And another two things that you want to focus on is to really keep a very good mindset, which is very, very important. So it's really important to keep that balance in mind because it's also the way that your emotional status has a lot to do with the way your gut feels. And last but not the least, it's really to do with keeping a balance of, maybe having the right kind of exercise which works for you as a balance. All of these actually make a difference to your gut. So just to repeat a quick one, it's basically your sleep. It's also to do with overall looking at your stress levels. It's to do with your dietary factors. It's to do with the right form of exercise that works for you and your emotional state. All of these actually are very, very impactful in the way to keep the balance of your gut microbiome as an overall thing. And obviously, we can speak more in detail about the food as a separate topic.
Yeah. So my next
Yes,
question was that what kind of
yes.
foods do we actually need
Hmm.
to eat to keep our gut healthy? Like, what
Right.
mistakes? I mean, okay, first we'll talk about the foods that we need to eat and then we'll take it further from there, which foods we should not
Right.
eat or what, you know?
Sure. So the most important thing that you need to keep in mind is the gut really needs five top kind of foods which are very, very important to have in the right way. So probiotics is number one. Probiotics are primarily a beneficial bacteria that are present in the gut, and like I said, that they really make a big difference to the way that your body feels when you have the balance of the gut bacteria, which is good for you. It's really important to have that in the right format. So probiotics are primarily found in anything from your yogurt. You even get that through their fermented vegetables. You can get it through maybe like throwing in some cabbage with some ginger, even like the kimchi or the sauerkraut. A lot of it that you can make at home now. And then you can even like kefir and kombucha. These are all different things which are also helping with that. Also, probiotics are also present in you can even have things like miso, which is also unfermented soy, which also helps, when you do that and you can have that. And that's also a great way to add that on. Second is prebiotics. Prebiotics, again, are very, very important. Prebiotics are actually the food for your beneficial bacteria, like how we need food. So does a good bacteria need food to thrive. So prebiotics are things like, onion and garlic, which are great. And, it's really, really important to have that. Uh, third thing is anti-inflammatory foods. And I think that's really where fruits and vegetables and salads come in a big, big way. So anti-inflammatory foods are really, really, really important for our system. And I think that's what I would really like to say that, your vegetables and fruits, whichever you're having, should really be multicolored. And I think that's something that we can really bring home with salads, right? So I think it's
Yeah.
amazing to be able to add the color because not only does it look appetizing to have that, but it's also a great way to add more phytonutrients, add more beneficial compounds. So like things like maybe an orange color in the salad can help you with your ovaries, or for example, a purple can help you, like anthocyanins. These are all different flavonoids, and purple can help you with your brain. and maybe, red and, yellow can help with your eyes. So all of these actually colors in your salads are a great way to add value to so many other micronutrients that we need. So that's great for your gut too, and there these micronutrients are superb for your body. You could even obviously do soups, you could do vegetables, and fruits. All of these are great anti-inflammatory agents for your diet, and you want to try and have more of that. And it's about 9 servings, at least 8 to 9 servings. You want to try some maybe 2 to 3 servings of fruit and another 2 to 3 servings of vegetables and salads and soups can be had in the day for the anti-inflammatory effect. Also, ginger, turmeric are the ways that we know are potent anti-inflammatories. If you're doing turmeric, you want to do it with pepper or coconut oil and ghee so that the absorption is better of the curcumin in the
Right.
turmeric. Apart from that, the fourth thing that I'd like to talk about is aloe vera, chamomile, and magnesium. These foods are really, really good in terms of helping you calm down your anxiety and stress. So your gut, like I said, is a seat of where if you feel anxious, you remember like if you went on a first date or when you went
Right.
on the first time you had actually, you had like a deadline of, for the first time that you met somebody you really liked. You feel the butterflies in the stomach thing that we've heard of, right? So that's
Right.
because actually our emotions are so connected to our gut, and our stomach and our, brain are always like, rather not just stomach, but really our gut and our brain is really talking to each other all the time. So when you're really anxious or you're excited or you're nervous, to calm yourself down, things like aloe vera or chamomile tea or foods high on magnesium, like, dairy, if you're having like maybe yogurt, or if you're having nuts and seeds and dark green leafy vegetables again, in the form of salads or again in the form of vegetables, maybe blanched or steamed, are great for an option for magnesium also to go into your system. And last but not the least, you can, for people who have a digestive upset and find it difficult to go, or they find like they keep getting gas and bloating, you could even have things like jeera, ajwain, soft, and hing. You can put one pinch of each to start with in warm water, boil it and reduce it to half and have that, and that will help overall. So
That's
again, just probiotics,
interesting. Wow.
prebiotics, yes, anti-inflammatory foods, stress-related foods, and your jeera ajwain is really the 5 foods that I'd say which is fabulous for your gut.
So basically, we are saying that salads do help in promoting our gut health, and there are a
Hmm.
lot of benefits as compared to other foods that we eat in general with salads. So they help us promote our gut health, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So definitely raw foods, alongside with that, do have something called the small, SFAs, basically breaking it down to short chain fatty acids, which are very, very healthy for your system. So you want to definitely try and have salads. So it's really, really important, and have vegetables and salads, as long as
So
you know that they
here,
do not give you any digestive trouble.
yeah, so here I wanted to ask you this question. There are a lot of people who, get bloated or, get gassy after eating a salad. So why that
Hmm.
and what's the logic behind it? Could you explain and, elaborate on that?
Right. So what happens primarily is a lot of times when there is, like I said, that there is a bacterial overgrowth, or when there is candidiasis or any of that, that leads to having people who have like something like a small intestine bacterial overgrowth. They do tend to already have a lot of fermentation happening by through the bacteria, excess bacteria or yeast, which is there, which is, like I said, over and above the balance of what we need. So whatever you eat, especially when it's raw, we know as a matter of fact that it takes a lot more effort for it to be digested. When it's, steamed, or when it's blanched, or when it's, slightly cooked or stir fried, it's, it's kind of breaking down the compounds of that food, and it's a lot more easier for your digestive system to break it down. So that's really important that you want to do. So when you are having salads, and for somebody who has extra, like I said, bacterial overgrowth, they may find it difficult to break it down, because the the whole body's digestion has to do a lot of extra work. So I'd suggest that for people who do find that, one is to obviously treat yourself for those conditions, which are very important, because you need to treat it from the cause very, very importantly. Like a SIBO would require to take some antibiotics and work on other foods, and maybe have things like antifungals and antimicrobials. So maybe antifungals like aloe vera, or oregano, or ginger, or coconut oil, or cinnamon. All of these can be had to really reduce, the kind of fermentation that's happening. And alongside, even then, if you want to try a salad then too, then I think I'd just suggest you want to try and put some jeera powder or you want to try, on the salad, or you want to try and put some olive oil with maybe some garlic and some oregano. So again, that will probably make it a little easier, with those antifungals and antimicrobials, natural ones, to actually help you digest it better, break it down. Like Jira again helps you very much with gas. So, you could try that and see in a small quantity if you have any of these issues. And then once you recover, you can always go back to eating raw foods, be it fruits or salads.
That's amazing. So we use a lot of miso and all of these things in our dressings, to enhance the absorption and enhance the gut
Mm-hmm.
bacteria and increase it basically.
Hmm.
So I would like to ask, so are we saying that such people who have, such gastric issues will never be able to have a salad or something like that sort in like forever, or it's just like temporary, as you said, we can just, heal it and then post that they can always have it? Or like,
Yeah.
it depends on the situation, or maybe you can say that temporary they can't have, but later on, if they're cured completely, then reversal chances are not there and all of that. Is that possible?
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody, I think, can reverse the microbiome in 3 to 5 days if you don't have an issue. Like, even if you're probably eating foods that don't work well with your gut, it takes about 3 to 5 days only to change your diet to actually change your microbiome. So it's really within your control to actually change the balance of your microbiome just by making consistent issue with these things. You want to try like maybe a bacterial overgrowth, and you want to obviously need to medicate yourself for that. But if generally also you don't have any of this, but you have gas and bloating easily, you want to work on having a balance of your food and balance of the right nourishment for your system, which works for your gut health. Increase your intake of more probiotics, and I think eventually you'll be able to actually have salads again. So just going through the right process is important.
So here I would like to add one more question. Thank you for sharing this knowledge because I'm sure not many of us are aware about it. So really, it's really very, very
Right.
useful. And I really cannot appreciate enough to actually share this knowledge because awareness is what we all are lacking. And that's where we all go wrong.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
That's
one more
exactly why
question.
we've taken up this together today,
I
right? So
agree.
I'm glad to do
I
this with
totally
you.
agree with you.
Yeah.
So here I would like to ask, so if we are having a bloating or gas, just normal one odd day, not like because of having a vegetable or a salad, but if you've had a pulse or something, in that case also you think that vegetables or raw vegetables or salad could increase our bloating and gas, or it would help us in reducing it?
So I think again that question would really depend bio-individually on each person and depend on the kind of digestive enzymes that they have and the way that they work and the kind of stress that the body is in different ways. Also, if somebody does have to generally have the tendency to really go very less through the motion or have very hard stools or maybe not have satisfactory motions, they may see more issues with gas because there's already undigested food that's sitting in the intestine. So I think it'll really vary on overall digestion. It'll vary a lot on how your body actually feels overall in terms of motility or gastric emptying to decide whether there is gas or bloating. And whenever one off there is, the important thing to do is if one off you know that you had something and you got gas, maybe you overate, or maybe it was cooked in a way that it was not very well cooked and you got a gas, that's okay. But if it is something related to the fact that every time you eat something and almost every other time that you realize that there is a pattern that your body follows with actually seeing gas after eating a pulse or after eating or maybe having like a dairy product or maybe after having
Yeah,
something
like
like
lactose or
yeah,
gluten
lactose or maybe
intolerance.
having wheat or gluten, which is there in so many of your meda and a lot of other products, then you may want to try and make the connection and try to seek help and understand maybe that you may be sensitive to that food and see if that eliminating it will be helpful.
Interesting. So in those cases, it's very individualized, but overall, in general, raw fruits, vegetables in general, and then the
Hmm.
ginger, garlic, miso, kimchi,
Hmm.
all of these
Hmm.
things really help us in improving our gut health, is what we are talking about.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think raw foods again in a way help you increase your digestive fire because the body really, like I said, that it needs more effort to break that down. And it's important that certain foods, we do believe that there is a good need to have a good balance of the raw and the cooked food together because they bring in different variants together. When it's cooked, we know that our processes of cooking are not like the Mediterranean processes where you're like just kind of stir frying it for a short time. We cook our food for
Right.
a while. So I think it's important that, again, the way you cook it and what, the utensils you cook it, and all of that is also important. But then that's why eating raw along with that fruits and salads, or maybe smoothies, or maybe having like a green juice is another great option for you to add on.
Amazing. So, guys,
Yeah.
I'm going to ask her one last question. If y'all have any other questions, y'all can shoot it up for her. We're going to talk about one last thing is what are the common mistakes that we do that damage
Hmm.
our gut or,
Hmm.
hinder in the processes of the gut and cause various issues that we are facing, XYZ like bloating, which is so, so
Hmm.
common. So, common mistakes that you think that we are doing that are spoiling our gut health. What are they according to
Right.
you, and what are your recommendations for that?
Right. So, two things I'd love to share so that people have more awareness. One is, I think antibiotics and non-steroidal anti-inflammatories or painkillers have really become a very, very regular feature of a lot of our lives. With the smallest infection, we're running to the doctor, taking a antibiotic course for 5 days. A lot of times we have the course and then we do 3 days and we stop doing the course after that. So you're kind of getting your body immune to that antibiotic and you're not
Right.
really serving the purpose. So antibiotics are the shortest, fastest way to actually kind of disrupt your microbiome. So it's very important that you know that you're very mindful of the fact that you only take it when you really, really need it. Try to use the more natural sources without that and see if you can feel better with that. So that's number one. Number two, you want to try and really work on having, maybe like we do have a lot more intake of processed foods today, sugars, processed foods, chips, wafers, all of these things, again, all the time, if you're eating that every other day, it's adding to, it's really disrupting the balance of the microbiome again. So it actually, as a matter of fact, eating sugar, even at this time of the COVID, like if you're having like sugar or a sugar rush every day, 2 to 4 hours after eating something that is high on sugar can actually crash your immunity for the next 4 to 5 hours. So it's so important to understand this is not a time to treat yourself and with foods and extravaganza, but it's really the time to eat healthy because we need to really kind of support our immunity continuously. So that's really important to do that. So these are the things primarily which do need. We're not obviously having as much fruits and vegetables. Also, some of us, like I said, that they again are the same things that we don't keep that balance. So that's what it doesn't help for our body to feel that way. And just to add on, one last thing I'd love to share is 6 things for you to know whether your gut is in good shape or not. So if you have any of these symptoms, for the people who are listening here, you may not even know that they're directly related to the gut because they
Yeah, yeah,
can
yeah.
really present themselves in very many different ways. So rather than looking at the causes, I'd rather want you to identify the symptoms and see. And if you do need help, we're more than happy to help you with that. So anything from
And I
having a
can
migraine.
promise you guys, she is the best in it. You will not regret going to her.
Thank you so much. That's so sweet of you to mention that. So, things people who have a migraine, so things like you have a headache every morning when you get up is a sign that your gut is imbalanced. When you have constipation on a regular basis, or when you have a hard motion every other day, even if you go, that means that there
Oh,
is an issue with your gut. For some people, it may look like they need to go 3 to 4 times in a day, actually needing to actually do a lot more. Like they may have looser stools and are not able to really have a more well-formed stool is also a part of this, and you don't want to try. And that also means there's a gut imbalance. Again, gas and bloating, like you mentioned, is one more. Also, people who have skin rashes, skin allergies, have itching, have acne can also be a sign of a gut imbalance. For people who are
oh,
having hair loss or sleep disorders or low quality sleep is also a sign that you have a gut imbalance. Also, for people who have terrible mood swings, which you feel edgy at times, you feel upset at times, you feel angry very quickly. All of these are again a sign of a gut imbalance. And the shifting joint pains and getting up with a really stiff back or a stiff knee, or feeling like there are pockets of pain through the day in your body or in your specifically in your
right,
joints or your muscles is also a sign that you have a gut imbalance. And last but not the least, I think this one will resonate with everybody, that when you are trying to really work hard, eat right, exercise well, we are not losing weight. That's definitely a
right.
sign that you have a gut imbalance. So all of these are really ways to identify that. And I think that would really be a take-home message today, that if you see any of these are things that you face day on day, don't think that it's all right for me to have these as an issue. You may want to really figure it out.
And what is the immediate, what we say, a solution that you could give to these people? What could they do? Is what we mentioned all of it, or is there anything additional that you would want to
So
recommend people to do if they find that
number
they have
one,
gotten?
correct. So number one, definitely, the first thing to do would be to actually, contact somebody like us who's an expert with this, because you may not be able to make all the connections yourself. And again, like for example, something like I said, somebody who has a bacterial overgrowth cannot have certain supplements versus somebody who has an IBS cannot have certain supplements. Somebody who has rheumatoid arthritis cannot have certain things. So really try to figure this out yourself is not the thing. When you're maintaining your health for your gut health, whatever I mentioned is a great way to do that. But if you think you have these aggravated symptoms from time to time and they keep coming up, if you have allergies or if you have any autoimmune conditions like autoimmune thyroid or any of these things, we help you, or you have intolerances. So we help you correct those things by working on the gut health approach and a functional approach. So I think that's what's required, that you need to reach out to somebody and first take help, because it's very important. Diagnose it right, do the right tests, and then really recommend what's the right thing to do for you.
That's amazing. So we have a question over here. What
Yeah.
about multivitamins? Do they hinder our gut process?
So no, I don't think so. There is an issue with any kind of gut process with having, any multivitamin. Obviously, there may be an issue if you are having or you're sensitive to iron. Some people are very sensitive to iron or calcium, and that's obviously there in a multivitamin, which normally it is. That could give rise to a little bit of a black stool or could give rise to some constipation for some time. So, but you have to recognize whether you are sensitive to that or not. So if you are sensitive to it, then we need to kind of replan and see if you need something which is without certain iron ingredients or whatever that is causing you discomfort. But otherwise, multivitamins are actually, essential, because I think it's very important for us to keep the balance, and we don't necessarily all the time eat so healthy that we get all our nutrients all the time. So I think it's important, and with the current, again, the situation that we all are in, I think it's very important that, a basic overall regime of keeping a healthy balance of your gut is, kind of imperative at this point in time to really, really keep up your immunity and rather support your immunity moving forward for the many, many months to come.
That's really interesting and amazing, and so much of good knowledge, like awareness is what we are spreading, and I'm so happy, Janvi. Thank you so much, really.
Right.
I have one last question.
Yeah.
So depending on our disorders, okay, whatever we have, maybe say a gas or bloating or as basic as sleeping disorders, how long does it take in general to cure? Like, when we are
Hmm.
dealing with our gut health,
Hmm.
how normally how much time does it take for even a headache or migraine or something like that? So basic, not like chronic
Yeah.
things, but
Hmm.
all of these stuff, basic stuff, how long does it take to cure it?
Hmm. So see, symptomatically, when you're looking at any of these things, we've in fact, if like I said, it's not a chronic thing, like a very, very chronic issue which you've been having for months and months, and they've like you've already medicated yourself enough and it's not getting better. That may take maybe a month or month and a half for it to kind of fall into place and start feeling better. But for somebody who, like you're saying, maybe have a regular migraine or have a regular itching or have just any of these symptomatic things, just by making probably even a week to 10 days, they will start feeling a lot better by making the changes. So,
Oh, that's
even for
amazing.
people who have a chronic issue, they will start feeling better the moment you're actually looking at the right changes that we need to make. But it's important to understand that's really, really, catching the right thing is very important. But people can start feeling better just by eliminating certain things that could be different triggers for the gut to feel irritated. And once you remove those triggers and add things which help your gut soothe or feel better, you instantly start feeling much better. So we've had people who've had a turnaround time in just 2 to 3 days of getting onto our plan, they start feeling better. So,
Wow.
it's just a matter of fact that you need to kind of follow through well. That's about it.
And also, like these lactose intolerant or gluten intolerance and all of that, can they be reversed, like these allergies or diseases, whatever it is,
Hmm.
can they be reversed after treating it from the gut health? Or it's like you just, I mean, how does it work? Does it reverse?
So again, it is bio-individual in a lot of ways. It will vary from person to person. It's like one person's food is another person's poison. So it
Right,
really varies from person to person. So intolerances sometimes is difficult to really kind of go back, because intolerance is to do with a lack of an enzyme in the body. Allergies are more to do with your gut being irritated or your immune system being hyperactive. So it's
right,
a lot of times we do our eventual goal with anything is to try to, when we eliminate foods, our goal is not to focus on the elimination. Our goal is to always find a way to add it back. So even like you mentioned, even for raw foods and salads, our goal is to add things back. We're not looking at, okay, now we eliminated it and it's done. So, but obviously, every system would react in a different way to anything depending on the sensitivity of the system to deal with it. So, our entire process is normally that when once we eliminate it, we try to reintroduce it back after healing the gut. We try to reintroduce it back in small amounts, consistently trying to reintroduce it back and see how the body responds after actually taking that break. So a lot of times that's really the way that we go back to it. But then there's a lot of, that's why you need an expert to watch that, because you can't decide
right.
that for yourself in terms of how it could be working for you. So yeah, but I definitely feel like it can. There are people who've been able to start eating certain things after, any of these top allergens that people
Right.
have after taking, a complete course of working on their gut health for some time, calming the system down and then reintroducing it back again.
Great. Thank you so much,
Great.
Janvi. I'm so happy
Pleasure.
that we could actually, give out people this awareness, which was so much needed in at least these times, because I think even
Absolutely.
eating oily food, fried foods, all of these things are really playing up on our gut health, and we are not aware of it. Your back is visible,
Absolutely.
Janvi.
Yeah. Got
Yeah, that's okay.
it.
So yeah, all of this fried foods, oily foods, lack of sleep, stress, we really not aware about how it's playing on our body and our importantly gut. Like so we have really
Absolutely.
addressed some core issues and I'm so grateful to you, Jenny. Thank you.
I'm really, really glad. I'd really like to thank you for having me here today and actually taking up this initiative of making this such an important kind of an concern right now in terms of what we really want to figure out about and what we really want to kind of address and bring out to the people here today. So I think, and I'd really like to thank Dhwani, and I'd really like to thank you for that, and Mind Your Body for this amazing platform to be able to help me do this. And great, I think you're doing great work. So keep doing that, because you're helping to further the same thing that we are trying to preach here. So I think that's important. We talk about it, but if you don't have services which help you enable you to do that more easily, a lot of times that is a wasted effort without that. So thank you for doing what you're already doing, and I'm sure it's one step ahead in that same circle of change towards better health. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you guys for joining in. Thank you for being such a lovely audience. We'll be back
Yes. Thank you
next
so
week.
much. Right, great. For
Thank you.
anybody else who needs any kind of, they would like to know anything about gut health, would need any clarifications, kindly feel free to message me on Jamshitalia Official, or you can follow us on Jamshitalia Official, or message us if you have any questions, and we'd be happy to answer that for you.
Or y'all can message me and I will guide you all through. Don't worry. If
That's
you're
also
like,
a great option.
that's everything is fine. It's just that you'll need to figure it out, guys. Please treat your health with importance and do not neglect it.
Thank you so much.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Bye.
Bye.